Hi, everybody,
Okay.
and welcome to Mysteries of Menopause. I have three lovely people with me: Sharmilla from Saturdays with Sharmilla, Ericca D'Souza, all the way from Toronto, and Marianne D'Souza from Goa. We're going to be talking about menopause
Goa.
and their
Yeah.
own personal experience. So, hi, Marianne. Hi, Ericca.
Hi, Nandini. Hi, Sharmilla. Hi, Ericca.
Hey,
So, Marianne, will you tell us
Tell
what
me.
your experience of menopause was?
Okay. Firstly, I didn't really know when it hit me. And the first signs are, in my experience, the first signs have been depression, uncontrollable depression. And I would just cry at the drop of a hat. Okay, anything anybody said, and I kind of managed to hide that from the boys and from Anil. So today, when I was talking to him, he says, "But you went through it pretty well, babe." I said, "No, it was really traumatic for me." You know, and then you get your periods go completely askew. You start feeling kind of those hot flushes, as they say, or flashes. I still don't know what the right terminology is for that, but they use both the words, flushes and flashes, you know.
yes.
So that
Yes.
was the main thing, but it took a little while. And what I know about, eventually what I know about menopause is something that begins in your 40s, your late 40s,
Yes.
but it doesn't manifest itself, so you don't really know what's happening to you. But that's the time when your estrogen and progesterone, you know, those levels
Yeah.
go
haywire.
askew. And so that's basically what I went through in a nutshell, you know.
Thank you.
And it was for a pretty prolonged time. And I had some of my friends who were there to support me because they know what I was sort of going through, you know, whom I would meet like every day almost. Those friends of mine, you know, that kind of thing. But I sailed through it, I think, in the sense that I didn't foist it on
Other people.
the family. You know,
Mhm.
I didn't foist it on, say, Anil or Joshua and Nathan.
Her sons.
So in that respect, you could say I sailed through it
Thank
till
you,
it finally
Marianne.
stopped. Yeah.
Ericca, what has been your experience of menopause? Were you prepared for it?
So when it was actually starting for me was in my late 40s, like Marianne said. It starts showing itself in really strange ways. Like you're very happy, and then all of a sudden somebody says something to you, and it's like a direct hit.
Yeah,
And
it's
you're
like a
like,
mood
why am I
swing.
taking, why am I
Yeah,
taking this
a
so
mood.
personally? I don't need to
Yeah.
react, you
Yeah.
know. And the good thing I have to say is that I started recognizing that in myself. In calmer moments, I would realize that why did I do this? I shouldn't have reacted. So I could check myself a little bit. So that was the first thing of recognizing my kind of feelings towards when people said something or did something. Then I knew something weird is starting to happen now. This is the start of my menopause. Then you start like getting all these bodily changes. You feel heavier some days, you feel bloated from one day to the next. Your sleep pattern changes, and whoever knows me knows I love to sleep, okay? I can go like 12 hours, like a baby, just
Ooh,
perfectly
okay.
sleep. These sudden changes start coming in where you're waking up, you're thinking. All of a sudden you wake up and boom, there's a crazy thought going on in your head, bringing on all this anxiety, making you feel like the world's coming to an end, and you want to end by crying because you feel so hopeless
Yes.
that you have no control over the situation. And normally you would be able to handle something like that just perfectly fine without any anxiety or having to even talk to someone about it, you would be able to sort out that issue. So even the little issues suddenly became like I had to write things down. I had to think stuff through. How am I going to get through this, either for myself or the family? And I didn't get on any sort of medication or anything at that point, but I definitely looked after my mental health, I think, much more. And I let go my physical side. So I know that I definitely suffered in terms of skin, like Sharmilla was saying, hair starts falling. I never took care of that, which I really regret, because now I'm trying to chase every product for skincare. I'm trying to look at every brand of hair, something or the other that can fix
You
my
don't
issue.
need to.
Yeah.
I know, but
You
you
look
know,
You don't need
lovely.
to. No, you don't need to. No, you don't need to.
I'm just saying that, you know, we need to recognize
Yeah.
all this when it starts, like you guys have said, in your later 40s. That's
Yeah.
really the conversation opener at that time.
Yes.
Now, after 50, I feel I have a little better control of it, thanks to everybody and all of you sharing and, you know, saying this is part of it, or this phase is quite normal right now. So again, I say I look after my mental health much more. So I try to connect more with things and triggers. You know, anything that I know is going to be something that's going to make me react really bad. So I try to just get myself a little bit more in control at that time. But it's a combination of so much for women at that time. You know, moms who are dealing with teenagers. I just cannot imagine a mom having like 2-3 teenagers in the house and you going through your menopause.
Very tough.
Because men also don't quite get it and think, wow, what a sudden change in my, you know, wife who was so,
I have to interject there. I have to interject there. I cannot say that about my husband. He was extremely understanding.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's
Extremely,
lovely.
extremely.
That's
You know,
really
he helped
great.
me along. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
lovely. Yeah.
That's really great, because you know it's very difficult for men sometimes to realize in that moment how you react.
Yeah.
Later on,
True.
they might say, "Oh, whatever," but in that moment, sometimes you
Yeah.
come across sounding so awful that you
Yes.
can't even check yourself. The damage is done. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah, the damage is
exactly,
done.
exactly.
So yeah, these were the things that the mental, the physical aspect, all the changes, and one should not be in denial. Like what I heard Sharmilla say,
Yes.
accept it, realize you're going through
Yes.
changes.
Yes.
You start to look different, you feel different, you react different. Accept that and work on yourself. Get in touch with a friend, talk to somebody who's just going through it or feels like, you know, the depression is coming on, and start to have this conversation.
Thank
so that
you,
was
Ericca.
mine.
Thank you very much,
Also
Ericca.
do your test.
Yes.
Also
That's
do
what
your
Sharmilla
test,
has
the
talked
FSA.
about.
Yes.
You must.
We must do our test. So Sharmilla, tell me, during this time, during the time when your menopause was at its worst, can you tell us one or two of your really bad times?
You know, first of all, like I said, I menopaused for about 5 years. Till the first year, I didn't even realize it. Then I noticed all the changes, and when I realized I was in it, I think the worst was anxiety. Anxiety was a big thing for me. You know, you just get up in the morning, your heart is palpitating. You just think, what am I supposed to do? And you know, when you're working, you feel you're forgetting things. My memory loss was big at that time. It's all still big. And and another thing which really is bloating. I would drink water and I was bloated.
Yeah.
I mean, the body change was so much. Besides going through my pigmentation, my hair loss, anxiety, you don't realize the tone of your voice when you're speaking. It's always in a hyper pitch.
Yes.
You're always, but why? Why am I going there? What am I doing? It's always a hyper situation. That's when I said rescue remedy was my calmer, because you just calm down because you realize this is what you're going through. Yes, my husband and my daughter got the real brunt of it, because everything I took seriously, which was the minor list of things you don't need to take seriously, you know? So you have to not keep checking people, first of all. And like I said, nobody cares what you think. Let people do what they have to do. You know what I mean? Just zip up. Don't open your mouth. So my worst was, I think, my hot flushes, by the way, which are still there till today.
Yes.
I still get a
okay.
hot flush. Not as bad, but because I was a person who always sweated, maybe I still get a hot flush. And then this whole bloating, and I had to give up a lot of foods like milk and sugar. It just like before it would take some time. Now just overnight I can see my hands were swelling, my feet were swelling, my face became big.
Yeah.
You know, and anxiety was a big thing. You know, that was a big thing.
Yeah, anxiety. True.
And
Like you
nobody
look
tells you.
in front of the you're a normal thing, like in the morning you wake up, you want to just put some cream on your face and maybe a little makeup, and suddenly you realize your heart is racing.
Palpitating.
What for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just palpitations. And then I read somewhere.
I will never
Or then
forget.
I saw.
No, you continue. Tell me.
Say
You say.
no. So I watched a show, a talk show, and there was this girl's mother who was going through this, and she was really upset. She thought it was, some sort of heart disease or that angina or something like that. Realized it was just the cause of menopause.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to me. Nobody tells you
that you're going to get a menopause tummy.
Nobody
I mean, my
tells.
tummy became so big I look pregnant.
That happens to me all the time.
I was eating right, I'm working out, but the tummy just became bigger and bigger.
Yes.
Till I started doing intermittent fasting, and that's when it slowly started shrinking back.
Yeah. So we have to find things.
Yeah.
We have to find things to support ourselves. I'll never forget. One day I got such a bad palpitation attack. I had no idea what was happening. I had gone down from a friend's house into this very dark alley. I had to hail a cab. And suddenly I just started sweating and shaking, and my heart was racing so fast. And I remember just sitting there like for 10 minutes and just breathing slowly until I stopped that sweating and shaking. But nobody tells you that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
I've done events where I'm the hostess and I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what I've done?
Palpitation.
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's no control. I've checked with everybody. There's no way you can control a hot flush.
No, you cannot.
So they can say,
no shavasana, deep breathing.
Nothing.
I also think that we kind of bring it on because we are going through the motions of day-to-day life, and then something within that it just escalates it. Anything, it could be something small, even time, for instance. I'm trying to get somewhere on time, and I know I'm going to be there on time, but still there's something in me that's uneasy and racing, making me rush quicker than I need to, bringing up this whole level of stress. And I'm thinking to myself, I have enough time. Why do I feel like this? Why is my voice getting louder? Why am I like bringing this on myself? And I feel I can't control that sometimes. And it's like heat rushing through my toes. It starts from my feet.
The hormonal imbalance. It's got nothing to do with you. You just have to go through it.
Yes.
It's not something we trigger. We don't bring it on ourselves, Ericka. Really? It is a hormonal imbalance. Absolutely.
Sweat it out, even if it's in front of an air conditioner, but let the hot flush pass.
Yes.
And if it happens, I've done this. I've said, guys, I'm having a hot flush. So just give me 10 minutes.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there sweating. Then I go wash my face with cold water, and then I'm fine.
Yeah. I've seen you do that in my house also, Sharmilla. I'm having
I would just do like,
the hot flush comes on with an anxiety trigger. Something you're got anxiety about, reaching a place on time, cooking the food on time, getting the work.
Yes.
It triggers off with a slight anxiety.
Yeah. So Ericka, will you tell
already
me?
have it in you.
Yeah.
The anxiety is already in you because of the imbalance.
Yes.
So any little thing triggers it. That's what it is actually,
So Ericka, will you tell me 3 things that you can tell our audience that you feel have helped you with the menopause?
So definitely keeping a more calm sort of environment around you, making your little circle, whether you go to work, be a little bit more organized, just, being a little bit ahead of things versus doing things right when they need to be done. So I feel just get aware of your day-to-day things. How can you smoothen out that for yourself? Because every day you tend to go like a yo-yo, up and down, up and down. Just figure out what you can do to figure that part of your day-to-day life. Another thing that you can do to kind of smooth this out is to get some good rest.
Yes.
I feel if I miss at least like a couple of hours sleep because I'm working early shifts, so I'm going to, get less sleep, I already know that day is going to be a migraine for me, and a really bad migraine, which I normally never get. But it's going to be so bad that I feel like either I need to sleep it out for it to pass, or I need some medication for it, which is another problem because I don't like to unnecessarily just go on, taking a pill for this or that. So I know that I need to sleep, so I've recognized that. So you need to recognize, I think, versus just thinking that, oh, this will help me or that will help me. First, recognize it in yourself. Like what exactly, because everyone menopauses differently, right?
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
So what I've seen for myself is time management, organizing work life better, then organizing home life better. So for me, that's my first way to get a little grip on myself and the way I behave then during the day.
Okay.
Then my sleep, like I said, big thing. I must sleep well in order for me to function and cope with that day and whatever changes happen or rushing or whatever in that day. And I think the third would be my exercise program. It's so sad because I start something and I don't have that discipline to continue on with it. So I'll be really good for 2 days. I know it's just something that I think we've all gone through. You get on this, good feeling, I'm going to keep up to this. I've allotted the time for it.
Yes.
I make sure every day I'm in that right, what should I say? You want to do it right. So you put all your time into it. You're sure you're going to exercise at 5, and then something else happens and you give that priority. It shouldn't. But I can't somehow be that disciplined to continue. So I think that's something I'm working on. So every week or so, I'll come up with this new exercise thing I want to do, or even something small in the house like stretches. And then I just say, you know what, today's a good day. I did it. Let me not focus on 1 month, how I'm going to get to, what stage or whatever. Today I was able to do it. I'm going to just say, today was a great day. I did it. So I don't add all of these layers of stress, because I think that for me just makes it much worse.
Yes.
I have to say something, Ericca. You said time management. That is so true, because when I was menopausing, I was really working round the clock, traveling here, traveling. I met somebody who told me, in fact, she was a big help. She said, wake up 1 hour before your normal time.
Yes.
I agree.
And do things calmly. So if you've got anxiety when you're waking up, take that rescue remedy or take your deep breaths, calm down. But take 1 hour before your normal time of waking up, so you're not waking up and saying, oh, I have to cook, oh, I have to run, oh, I have to do this.
Right.
Because you know what I did once? We were catching an international flight. My flight was at 10:30 in the morning. And I thought 2 hours before, you have to go. So in my hyperness, I looked at the time and I told Shan, let's call the car at 5:30. We have to reach the airport at 6:30. She said, okay, because she leaves it all to me. We reached the airport at 6:30 and she said, Mom, which flight are we on? Aren't we on a 9 o'clock flight? I said, no, we're 10:30. She said, but it's 6 o'clock. What are we doing at the airport? I've got the timing all wrong. Can you believe she wanted to kill me? Because we woke up at 4:30, got ready. So, in the hyper state, you want to do things faster.
Yes.
Actually, you should calm down. After that, I always said, Shan, please recheck tickets, because those days, your mind is like, let me not miss the flight. Let me not do this. You do all the ulta things, So time management.
All of that builds up. All of that builds up so much anxiety in you that you don't function like yourself anymore.
Yeah.
And it's bad if somebody at that time comes in and tries to say something to you.
It's very bad.
God help them.
God help them. Absolutely. So Marianne, tell us, what are 3 things that you can tell the audience that you've used to help you at this time?
For me, it was being with these very, very, very dear, close friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what I was going through. And because I didn't have the bloating, I got a little bit of the pigmentation, but it didn't really drive me crazy. Not much of the hair loss. And for me, it was more the mental anxiety.
Yeah.
Those panic attacks I would get just doing nothing. Like I said, I look in front of the mirror, I'm doing my hair or something, and suddenly these palpitations. So what I would do was just literally just let it pass. There is nothing. I try to take homeopathy, and I try to take, maybe a calming pill or something, but it just doesn't work. It takes its course. So
Yeah.
you just have to wait it out. And you can be with your friends who understand what you're going through. If you have to cry, which I did a lot,
A lot,
Yes.
a lot.
I did it
Yes.
with my friends.
Yes.
I
The
did it
silly
with my
stuff.
friends. Yeah. You guys were part of it.
Yeah,
Nandini,
yes,
Firoza.
yes, I remember.
Yeah. So
And
before
she'd
that
just
was,
say that, okay, fine, I'm going through a hot flash. Or just say, I can't breathe. I
Yeah.
just have to do some quiet breathing. I'll never forget that.
yeah. And that was it. That was it. The
Crying
hot
is a big
flushes, of
thing,
course.
actually.
Yeah.
Crying is a big
It
Crying is a
just
big thing.
release it. And you
You
should
have to
cry.
cry.
I
You
think
have
everybody
Yes,
should
you're
cry.
right.
Regardless of whether you're menopausing or not,
Yeah.
if you feel like crying, you must.
You must
know,
cry.
There's
Yeah.
no question of controlling
I
it.
couldn't even finish a sentence.
Yes.
And I'm
Same
just
here.
Exactly.
Well,
and my
Yeah.
and my kids are like, what is it? You're not even talking about something serious to us. Why are you taking it so seriously?
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like crying right now.
Especially boys, Ericca, they'll never understand.
they'll
They
never
don't understand.
understand.
Emir says to me, Mom,
No,
I think you need to go to
Sharmilla.
sleep. He said, I think you need
No,
to
my
go to
boys
sleep.
understand.
Just go
What
to
he
bed,
did,
get some sleep,
No,
and
my
you'll be
boys
fine
did
after
too.
that.
Your boys are very
I
special.
went through it.
All your
I
boys.
went through it because all three, Anil,
all
Joshua,
three,
Nathan,
all three boys.
they kind of understood. I swear to
Yeah.
God, that's another
so
part
lucky.
of
That's so lucky.
me going through it. Yes.
But I want to tell
Really,
you something.
really.
I'm still very emotional about crying. That
Yes.
crying still
Yes.
hasn't ended till now. Anything
my
will
God,
move
Anything,
me
of
and I want to
course.
cry. Yesterday I cried
You
when
watch.
Hemant and me were talking. I just was
I
so
know. I saw that.
moved
Yeah.
by him, you know.
I
Yeah,
I
saw that.
cried at
emotions
the
go that way.
stupidest of things. Yeah. So that emotions have still stayed. I've got very deep emotions.
Yeah.
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 I don't
But
know
I
whether
have to
any
say,
of
I'm
you.
happy to know that all of y'all have said that things get so much better after.
Oh yes, darling.
Magical,
I'm out of
magical.
it.
I'm
Magical.
focusing on
I'm-
that right now.
It's magical.
I'm way
It's
beyond you,
magical.
all of you all,
Yes.
and it's in the past. Really.
Yeah.
So nice
You
to
know?
know that.
The other thing that I used to do a lot, and I realized later, I read it somewhere again. I used to crush ice cubes. I used to love to eat ice cubes.
Yes.
That
I know this one
apparently
also.
is something that you do when you're menopausing.
Yeah.
The weirdest things, you know. So I personally think you just have to kind of
Be prepared.
let it. Yeah, just you can't be prepared, Sharmila. That's the thing. You
No,
know
somebody
these
had
things at the
told
back.
me, Marianne, if somebody had told me
Yeah.
a couple of
Yeah.
things, I would have been prepared because I've had the worst menopause at every symptom. Can you imagine what I've gone through from anxiety to depression to crying to my skin
Yeah,
to
yeah,
my,
yeah.
to
Okay,
my
guys, we're
tummy?
going to end now
Yeah.
because we're running out of time. So
Okay.
as we end, I'll just like to thank everybody. Sharmila, it is really amazing that you talked about this to us and you shared a very vulnerable time of yours and admitted to the fact that you went through this and behaved badly and cried and you know
Yeah.
and Marianne, it's lovely that you say your children supported you, your friends supported you, and yes, we
And
were
my
together,
husband.
and your husband.
Mhm.
And Ericca, you know, I like your time management. I like the fact that you say when you're hurried, it's difficult for you and that you need to sleep. And I think that we're all very lucky that we have each other and many more
Yes.
wonderful girlfriends
Very
Yes.
who
Yes.
talk, who say it as it is. And that's
Exactly.
You
what's
need
important.
somebody to speak to. You need
Yes,
somebody
yes.
shoulder
No
to cry on.
denial, and
Yes.
say it
And
as it is
accept
and a
it.
shoulder to
Yeah.
cry on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Sharmilla. This is a lovely topic of yours for Saturdays with Sharmilla. And would you like to say a few things before we end?
You asking me?
Yes.
You know, I just feel, Ericca, since you haven't yet menopause fully, trust me, after this, it's beautiful.
Yes.
What we go through at that time, it's actually, I don't know which was, delivering was worse or whether this was worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I
don't
swear,
know whether
that's
delivering
so
a child
true.
is worse or
That
going
is
through
so
menopause is worse.
true.
Yes.
So the people who are
But
lucky,
Ericca, I think you're doing a damn good job.
Yeah.
Not
Glowing and
to
all.
interrupt.
yeah, and I don't
Yeah, it's
think,
fantastic.
and there are some people who are, like I said, very lucky who don't have any symptoms.
Yeah.
They are very lucky. There are a lot of people
Yeah.
who have no massage, nothing. So
I want to
lucky them.
slap them.
I think
Advice.
I've had all of y'all in my life to, you know, walk me through it when I've said I'm feeling low or I'm feeling terrible right now, or I don't want to get up and do anything. You know, days where I just feel I don't want to put on makeup, do anything. And then I think, why not? I look at all of y'all, you know, just having gone through this and coming out of it. And I can see that there's so much of life still in all of us. Why should we
Absolutely
allow this
Something,
short phase to be the end of everything for us?
Absolutely.
I refuse to think
absolutely.
that.
Let me tell you, it's the beginning of magical times.
Magical times.
Magical times. Love you guys.
Really.
And I'm
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you,
Marianne.
Ericca.
Same here, Marianne. It was lovely
Bye.
to see you on Zoom.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Love you all.
Bye.
Kiss, kiss. Bye.